Good evening to all. Welcome to this first tutorial session of the course ME303 heat transfer. So in this session, we will try to see 7 different problems based on the content of the lectures which is covered till date. Okay. So this is the first problem. I hope this is visible to you all on your screens. So in this first problem, we are having a 1000-watt iron and it is left on the iron board, which is with its base exposed to the air at 20 degrees Celsius. The convection heat transfer coefficient between the base surface and the surrounding air is 35 watt per meter square degree Celsius. If the base has an emissivity of 0.6 and the surface area of 0.02 meter square, we have to determine the temperature of the base of the iron. Okay. So let me show you how we will be proceeding for the solution of this particular problem. So remember one thing, whenever you are approaching for the solution, if diagram is not given in the question, try to draw some rough diagram. Okay. So I'm considering, say, this particular plate is nothing but the base of iron, whatever is given in the question. So here we have some iron. If I draw a handle, something like this. Okay, so this particular area is basically exposed to surroundings. And if you see in the surrounding, we are having air and the temperature of surrounding air is given as 20 degrees Celsius. Okay. Now, area of exposed area of this iron surface is also given. So area given in the question is how much? It is 0.02 meter square. Okay. So area given is 0.02 meter square. And we have one more thing given over here. It is given that we are having 35 watt per meter square degree Celsius convective heat transfer coefficient. So when the surface is having surrounding air, there will be some convective mode of heat transfer. So convective heat transfer coefficient is given as 35 watt per meter square degree Celsius. Okay. Apart from this, it is also given that whatever the electrical supply input power this plate is actually gaining, that input power is nothing but 1000 watt. Okay, so it is having 1000 watt heat input and emissivity of the iron surface is also given equal to 0.6. Okay, so what will be happening? Obviously, when we are supplying some electrical power to this iron block under the steady state condition, whatever 1000 watt we are supplying to this with the help of electric power, that 1000 watt is going to enter into the surroundings. Okay, so while it will be entering into the surroundings, it will be entering by the modes of convection, because whenever we are having air and a vertical iron plate, there will be some recirculation motion over here. Okay, so that recirculation motion will create actually bulk motion of the fluid. So that's why the phenomenon over here will be convection. And it is always known to us that any body which is having temperature above than the absolute zero, it emits some radiations. Okay, so unless or until it is given in the question, or say the situation is like that where radiation is negligible, we have to always consider the radiating mode of heat transfer. Okay, so that's why we have to quantify over here convection plus radiation heat transfer. So now if we see, can you tell me what will be, how much will be the convective mode of rate of heat transfer due to convection? Can you tell me, any one of you? Let us assume it is asked in the question, that we have to determine the temperature of the base of the iron. Okay, so let us consider the base which is exposed to surrounding air is having temperature as TB. So if TB is the temperature of the base, we will be having convective heat transfer as nothing but H, convective heat transfer coefficient. A is area exposed times temperature of the base minus temperature of air, and temperature of air is given in the question as 20 degrees Celsius. Okay, so this will be convective rate of heat transfer. Then apart from this, we will also be having some radiation. Okay, so can you tell me how much will be the radiative heat transfer between the surface and its surroundings? Net rate of radiative heat transfer. So net rate of radiative heat transfer, if our surface is black, it is nothing but sigma A times TB power 4 minus T surroundings, which is air power 4. And over here, the emissivity of the surface is given as 0.6. So I have to multiply with emissivity also. So it means this much heat our surface is giving to the surrounding air by two modes. First is by convection and second is by radiation. So total heat removal will be nothing but HA into TB minus T air, okay, plus epsilon sigma A into TB power 4 minus T air power 4. Okay, and as I told you that under the steady state conditions, what will be happening? Whatever the heat is going to the air, that will be equivalent to the amount of heat which is supplied to the iron in the form of electrical energy. So that is nothing but it's a 1000-watt iron. So I will be writing this entire heat equal to 1000-watt. Okay. So now if you see, this T air is known, epsilon is known, sigma we know as a coefficient, area is known, this air is known, HA is known. So only unknown we have is nothing but TB over here. So TB is the only unknown. We have an equation, we have one unknown. So if you solve, you will be finding that temperature of the base will be coming out to be 674 degrees Celsius. So all of you just need to substitute the values over here and then solve this equation to find out value of TB. So is this question clear to everyone or anyone is having any confusion? Please say yes or no, otherwise.
Yes, sir, clear.
Okay. So remember one thing, radiation is very, very important part, and unless or until it is given in the question that radiation is neglected, you have to always consider it. Okay. So majority of the time we do this mistake. Whenever we find that we have a solid surface and we have some surrounding medium, we try to consider only the convective mode of heat transfer. Okay.
Sir, what was that thing that that delta, as you said, like absolute temperature of rod is something zero and it will emit some radiation. You said something like that.
When?
Now, sir, now, just now.
Here? No,
Yes, sir.
it is not a rod. It is plate of iron block. Okay, so your normal iron which we use, so its surface is exposed. So when the surface is exposed, it will emit some radiations also. Okay, along with the convection. Fine.
Yes, sir.
Then we have this problem number 2. So as per this problem, so this is some practical problem. Okay, whenever we talk about heat transfer, we say that heat transfer is having many applications in cooling of different electronic circuits. So that particular problem is related to that cooling of electronic circuits only. So we have a computer which consists of an array of 5 printed circuit boards. Okay, and each circuit board dissipates 20 watt of power, and cooling of the electronic components on a board is provided by the forced flow of air. So when we are having forced flow of air, it means we are having some forced convection involved over here. Okay, then it is written that equally distributed. Okay, so whatever air we are supplying, that is equally distributed in the passage formed by adjoining boards, and the convection coefficient associated with heat transfer from the components to the air is approximately 200 watt per meter square Kelvin. Okay, air enters the computer console at temperature of 20 degrees Celsius and flow is driven by a fan whose power consumption is 25 watts. So fan is doing some work on the air because it is forcefully supplying the air. If the temperature rise of the airflow T0 minus Ti is not to exceed 15 degrees Celsius, what is the minimum allowable volumetric flow rate of the air? The density and specific heat of the air are given over here. And second part is we have to also determine the component that is most susceptible to the thermal failure that dissipates power at the rate of 1 watt per centimeter square. Okay. And if we have to minimize the potential of the thermal failure, where should this particular critical component to be installed on the PCB, and what is the surface temperature at this location when we have installed this component? Okay, so let me give you some idea of the problem. So as I told you, the very first thing we have to do is nothing but we have to draw the sketch of the problem. Okay, so it is given that we are having console of a computer, and in that we are having some printed 5 different printed circuit boards. So let me consider that we are having, this is our PCB 1. Similarly, I'll be having some PCB 2 and PCB 3. Okay, this is 2, 3, then 4, and then 5. Okay, and for all these printed circuit boards, we are having some fan over here, and that fan is actually forcing the air. Okay, and while air is moving through different plates, these are arranged in such a fashion so that through each spacing air is actually uniformly distributed. Okay, so air is uniformly distributed. Now some of the conditions are given. Can you tell me what are the given conditions? It is given that printed circuit board, each board is emitting a power of, I think, 20 watt. Yes, so each circuit board is emitting a power of 20 watt. Another condition is given that heat transfer coefficient. So when this air is flowing over it, there will be this the heat transfer in between the air and the printed circuit board. Okay, so heat transfer coefficient H is given as 200 watt per meter square Kelvin. Okay, and then it is given air enters the computer console at a temperature of 20 degrees Celsius. Okay, so when air is entering into the system at that time, its temperature Ti is nothing but equal to 20 degrees Celsius. Okay, and fan is actually doing some work on the system, so fan power is equal to how much? 25 watt. Okay, so these are the given conditions. After this, it is given in the question that whenever this air is having some inlet temperature which is equal to 20 degrees Celsius, and when air will move out, obviously it will take some heat from the circuit board. So say its outlet temperature is unknown to us at the moment. Okay, but it is given that the difference of T0 minus Ti in part A, it is given that T0 minus Ti should not exceed 15 degrees Celsius. So if I take limiting case that T0 minus Ti is nothing but 15 degree Celsius. So under that condition, I have to predict that how much should be the volumetric flow rate of air. So we have to determine volumetric flow rate of air. Okay. So that is what we have to determine. So under this condition, we will be having the concept of forced convection involved because air is flowing over this, and we don't have any information given about the emissivity of the printed circuit board. So we will be neglecting the radiation. Another reason for neglecting the radiation is because this plate is interacting with the neighboring plates, and we are considering in the present question that both the neighboring plates are having same temperature. So if these are having the same temperature conditions, because air is uniformly passing through all the plates, so radiative heat transfer between the neighboring plates will be, net radiative heat transfer between the neighboring plates will be 0. Okay, so under this condition we will be solely considering the phenomenon of forced convection. Okay, so now how to do it, how to find out the volumetric flow rate? Can you tell me any idea? Anyone is having any idea how to solve this problem? So have you studied about steady flow energy equation? Please say yes or no, otherwise how I will be knowing? If you people don't want to respond, then there is no meaning of coming for the session. Then I can simply upload the questions and then you can download. Otherwise, I have to forcefully ask, do you know about steady flow energy equation?
No, sir, there were energy equations in our fluid mechanics course, but we didn't go too deep into it.
Okay. I have also taught steady flow energy equation in thermodynamics because I taught thermodynamics to you people. And apart from that, I have seen lectures of Dr. Gaurav. There also steady flow energy equation is actually discussed. Okay. So if I consider this entire space, fan, all plates and air, everything as control volume. For this control volume under the steady state conditions, I can say that Q dot net amount of heat input minus Q dot, sorry, minus W dot net plus, now in this control volume, this is a open system. So in this control volume, you can see some mass is entering from here. So say mi is the m dot I is the rate at which mass entering. So I can write m dot I and say it is coming with enthalpy hi, and then some mass is leaving out of the control volume from here. So the mass leaving out of the control volume, say, is m dot o, so minus m dot o into ho, and if it is under the steady state condition, there will not be any change in energy content of the control volume. So that's why I can simply write this whole equal to 0. Okay. Now, if it is under the steady state condition, then mass entering to the control volume minus mass going out of the control volume, generally we write equal to dm control volume by dt. But if it is under the steady state condition, then there is no change in mass of the control volume, so it will be equal to 0. So under this condition, I can write m dot I equal to m dot o, say, is nothing but equal to m dot. Okay. So from here I can write, now in this system, can you tell me, if I consider air to be control volume, then how much amount of heat is entering into the air? How much amount of heat is entering into the air? So if you see, each of this PCB plate is emitting 20 watt power, and we have 5 similar plates. Okay, so that's why amount of heat emitted is 20 into 5, and this amount is actually added into the air. So consider that I am only considering air to be our control volume. Okay, and so PCB plate is giving heat, so that's why it will be Q input, and there is no heat removal out of the air during the control volume. So that's why Q out will be 0 and net heat input will be 20 into 5 minus W net. So here first work done by the air. So air is not doing any work. So 0 minus work done on the air. So if you see, this fan is pushing the air. So it means fan is adding, and fan is adding energy at the rate of 25 watt. So our 25 watt will be nothing but work done on the air. Okay. And this I can simply write, if I take this m dot on the other side, so I can write m dot times ho minus hi. Ho minus hi, I can write m dot cp into to minus ti. And for to minus ti, in our question, limiting condition is given that it has to be 15 degrees Celsius. Now cp is given in the question. If you see, value of cp given is 1007 joule per kg Kelvin. So now if I substitute all the values, I will be finding mass flow rate m dot to be 8.28 into 10 to power minus 3 kg per second. Okay, and it is asked in the question to calculate the volumetric flow rate. So if I calculate V bar dot, V bar I am calling as volume and V bar dot as volumetric flow rate, that will be nothing but m dot by rho, and rho is also given in the question as 1.161. So I will be finding volumetric flow rate to be 7.13 into 10 to power minus 3 meter cube per second. Fine. So this part is clear, or anyone is having any confusion? Please respond.
Clear, sir.
Yes, sir. Fine.
Okay. Now let me take the second part. So second part, as per the second part, we are having the component that is most susceptible to the thermal failure dissipates 1 watt per centimeter square. So we have a one component which is actually emitting heat flux at very high rate. Okay, 1 watt per centimeter square. Now this component is susceptible to thermal failure. So we have to determine, if we have to minimize the potential of thermal failure, where should this component be installed? So can you tell me where we can install this component? If it is more susceptible to thermal failure, where can we install it?
Perpendicular to the surface. If that's what you meant.
That will be perpendicular to surface only, but if we see, this is the point when air is just entering. So at that point, the temperature of the air will be coldest. So here it will be 20 degrees Celsius, and as air will be moving along the path of this PCB, its temperature will keep on increasing, and whatever the flow rate we have now obtained, corresponding to that flow rate, we will be finding here that outlet temperature will reach to 35 degrees Celsius. Okay, so if we are having any component which is very susceptible, we want to keep that at the location of the minimum air temperature so that air can take maximum of its heat content. So this is the position. So bottom of the PCB plate is the position where I can locate this susceptible component. Now when air will be flowing over this, so this component is having how much? This component is emitting how much heat? It is emitting heat at the rate of 1 watt per centimeter square. So this component will not be failing if whatever the heat release rate of the component is there, same amount of heat it is able to dissipate into the air. So now let us consider that if component is operating without thermal failure, so it means whatever heat it is generating, same amount of heat it is actually ejecting to the surrounding. Okay, so under this condition, I can write that heat flux as per Newton's law of cooling, we have Q equal to HA into Ts minus T infinity, where T infinity is temperature of the fluid. So now I can write in the form of heat flux as Q by A equal to H into Ts minus T infinity. So now Q by A is given as 1 watt per centimeter square. H, convective heat transfer coefficient, is given in the question to be 200 watt per meter square Kelvin, into, now Ts is the temperature of the surface which I have to determine, and T infinity, because it is located at the bottom of the PCB. So at the bottom of the PCB, air is coming at 20 degrees Celsius. So I can simply write Ts minus 20 over here. So if you solve this equation, you will be finding Ts to be equal to 70 degrees Celsius. Okay, so is this question clear? Is it clear to everyone, or any doubt?
Sir, component is an extra component, sir. Like it's not a part of PCB.
Yes, now we are talking about some, see, altogether we are not considering now in part B that it is accounted in 20 kilowatt only. We are considering it is a, say, some component which we individually want to study. Okay, but it has to be mounted on PCB.
Okay, sir.
So with this numerical, like, you will be getting idea that how heat transfer can be can be employed in design of the critical components. Okay, and cooling of the high-end computing workstation is still concern and challenging task, which actually many of the researchers are trying to resolve by developing some novel heat transfer techniques. Okay. Now question number 3. So this particular problem is in order to show you that if we are having the variable thermal conductivity, then how our heat transfer or temperature profile will be actually looking like. Okay. So this question is to determine the effect of temperature dependence of the thermal conductivity on temperature distribution in a solid. Consider a material for which dependence may be presented as K equal to K naught plus alpha T. So over here, thermal conductivity is given as the function of temperature. Okay, where K naught is a positive constant and A is a coefficient, A or alpha. Alpha is a coefficient, so this is a typo, it should be alpha. Alpha is a coefficient that may be positive or negative. We have to sketch the steady state temperature distribution associated with heat transfer in a plane wall for 3 cases: A greater than 0, A equal to 0, and A less than 0. Okay, so it is given in the question that K equal to K naught plus alpha T. We have some plane wall, and say for plane wall we are having some temperature T1 at left face, T2 at right face. So we have to show that how this profile is looking if we are having one-dimensional steady state condition. Okay, so we know that heat flux through this can be obtained using Fourier's law of heat conduction. So I can write Qx as minus K into dt by dx. If I substitute the value of K, I will be finding minus K naught plus alpha T into dt by dx. Okay, now what we have to do based on this, we have to find out that if value of alpha is greater than 0 or alpha equal to 0 or alpha is less than 0, then how our temperature profile will be looking like. Okay, so to do this we have to do 2 things. First is, we can just, if we physically see, then physically from this equation itself we can actually tell how our profile should look like. If we have to mathematically derive, then we have to do a little bit more manipulations. Okay, so let me first physically explain you how we can do. Okay, so let us first take the case of alpha equal to 0. So when alpha is equal to 0, under that situation we will be finding that I am writing it as Q double dash. Okay, because it's a heat flux area I have not multiplied. So if I write Q double dash X, it will become minus K naught into dt by dx. Now we are considering the case of a plane wall. So for plane wall, area will be constant. Okay, for plane wall, area will be constant. As area is constant under the steady state condition, heat flux will remain constant. Okay, so if heat flux is constant, our K naught value is fixed over here, because K naught is the positive constant. So K naught is a positive value which is fixed over here. So under this condition, if I have to obtain at each and every section, I have to obtain constant heat flux. My dt by dx has to be actually constant. Okay, so slope at every point along the along this different planes. Say this is my location 1. If I calculate at, say, location 1, location 2, location 3, everywhere my slope has to be same. So slope will be same only if we are having temperature gradient as a straight line. This point is clear? For alpha equal to 0. Yes, you are having some doubt, Giri?
No, sir, just telling yes, it is. We understood more.
Okay. Now let us take another case when alpha is greater than 0. So under the condition of alpha greater than 0, what will be happening? Qx double dot. So this is once again a constant quantity because we are having steady state condition and a plane wall. This will be equal to minus K naught plus alpha t and into dt by dx. So over here, if you see, whenever we will be moving from this left face to right face, what will be happening to our temperature value? We know that T1 is greater than T2, then only heat is transferring from left to right. So whenever we will be moving from left to right, we know that temperature will be decreasing, but how much it will be decreasing, that say we are not knowing at the moment, because thermal conductivity is variable. But it is quite evident that when we move from left to right, our temperature will decrease. So if temperature will decrease, the value of K naught plus alpha T, this overall value will decrease when we are moving from left to right. Is this point clear? Is this point clear?
Yes,
Whatever I know. Okay.
yes, sir.
If this value is decreasing, on the left hand side we have a constant value. So in order to obtain that constant resultant, we have to increase this value of dt by dx. Is this point clear? So we have to consider this gradient in such a fashion so that when we are moving towards the right side, value of this gradient is increasing. Okay. So in order to make it increasing nature, I will be using profile something like this. Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
So this is for alpha greater than 0. Now if I consider the case of alpha less than 0, under this condition, what will be happening? My K naught plus alpha t. So now I have this alpha over here as negative. So if I consider alpha to be negative, it means it is going to be, this alpha into t product is going to be subtracted from the value of K naught. So when I will be moving towards right, the value of t is decreasing. So overall product of alpha into t will decrease and my value of overall thermal conductivity will increase. So K naught plus alpha t will increase from left to right when we are having value of alpha as less than 0. So if this conductivity value is increasing, in order to keep the constant on left hand side, this dt by dx has to decrease. Okay, so this dt by dx under this condition has to decrease. So if it has to decrease, my profile will be moving something like this. Okay, so this is a profile where you can see that as I am moving towards the right, my gradient is actually decreasing. Okay, so this will be profile for alpha less than 0. Fine. Is this okay?
Yes, sir.
So this, I have just drawn these profiles based on the physical understanding of the system. Now we can also employ mathematical understanding to answer this question. So we were having the value of qx equal to minus k naught plus alpha t into dt by dx. Okay, so based on the mathematical understanding, I can draw or I can predict the nature of dt by dx if I know the value of d square t by dx square. If I know that d square t by dx square is equal to 0, so obviously then I have to make this slope as constant, and I have to adjust slope as per the second derivative of this temperature field. Okay, so now we know that for a plane wall, qx is constant. So if I have to obtain the second derivative, what I can do, I can take d by dx of this entire equation. So if I do dq by dx, and this dq by dx will be equal to 0 because our qx is constant. It is not varying with the x for a plane wall. Okay, sorry, I have to write it double dash because for flux we are using simple double dash. Okay. So now if I take the derivative of this equation, I will be finding minus d square minus k naught into d square t by dx square minus alpha t into d square t by dx square minus of alpha into dt by dx. Is it correct? So nothing but I have differentiated it with reference to x. Now let me find out the value of d square t by dx square. So if I take d square t by dx square common, I will be finding that k naught plus alpha t, and this will be equal to minus alpha into dt by dx. So from here I will be getting d square t by dx square equal to minus alpha by k naught plus alpha t, okay, into, I think I have made a mistake while calculating this. Have I taken differentiation correctly or wrongly?
Sir, wrongly, I guess.
Yeah, so tell me what will be the correction? Let me take it again. I have to apply multiplication rule. I have not applied over here. Okay. Please tell me the differentiation, what it will be. Minus k naught plus alpha t into d square t divided by dx square plus dt by dx
Into alpha.
into alpha, yes, into dt by dx. Correct? Here it will be minus alpha into dt by dx. Now is it correct? So this whole will be equal to 0. So from here, if you see now, I will be finding that d square t by dx square will be equal to minus alpha divided by k naught plus alpha t into dt divided by dx whole square. Is this point clear?
Yes, sir.
Now if you see, this k naught plus alpha t will always be positive. Fine. K naught, because k naught is a positive constant and alpha t is adjusted in such a fashion so that thermal conductivity is a property and its magnitude will always be positive. So this term in the denominator k naught plus alpha t, it will always be positive, and dt by dx, whatever, whether it is positive or negative, we are taking the whole square of it. So dt by dx whole square will also be always positive. Okay. So in terms of the slope, if I have to see, so d square t by dx square is something, its sign will be nothing but equal to minus of sine of alpha. Fine. So now if you see, when alpha is 0, at that time d square t by dx square will be 0. So that will be only possible if our dt by dx is constant. Okay. So to have dt by dx constant, we are having this profile, alpha equal to 0, straight line. Then when our alpha is greater than 0, at that time d square t by dx square has to be negative. So if d square t by dx square has to be negative, our dt by dx should increase along the rightward side. Okay. And when alpha is less than 0, d square t by dx square will be positive. So that will be only possible if our gradient is actually decreasing when we are moving towards the right side. So is this point clear? Mathematically also, how we can determine?
Sir, I could not get the gradient part. Can you please explain it again?
Okay. So the thing is, if you have to get value d square t by dx square value as, say, for alpha less than 0, it has to be what? It has to be positive. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So if d square t by dx square has to be positive, your dt by dx profile along the x, how it should look like? Its second derivative has to be positive. So if second derivative has to be positive, so your first derivative profile has to decrease along the right side. Fine.
Yes, sir. Got it.
So these are the like two different approaches. If mathematically you want to answer this, or if you want to answer this based on the theoretical understanding, that is very easy to relate. So this is the theoretical understanding based on, that's why I have first chosen actually theoretical background only to explain this concept. Okay. Now let me take up our next problem. So this problem is, consider a large 3 centimeter thick stainless steel plate. So we have 3 centimeter thickness stainless steel plate.
So your
And
screen is not changing, I think.
I am on problem 4. Others, can you see problem number 4?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. Maybe it's a problem on my end. I'll refresh the page.
Okay. So now we are having a 3 centimeter thick stainless steel plate. Its thermal conductivity is 15.1 watt per meter degree Celsius, and heat is generated uniformly at a rate of 5 into 10 to power 5 watt per meter cube. Both sides of the plate are exposed to an environment of 30 degrees Celsius with a heat transfer coefficient of 60 watt per meter square degree Celsius. We have to explain where in the plate the highest and the lowest temperature will occur, and we have to determine their values. Okay, so let me once again draw the sketch of the problem. So as per the sketch of the problem, I am having some stainless steel plate, the thickness of which is 3 centimeters, and both the faces of the plate, this as well as this, these are exposed to surrounding at temperature of 30 degrees Celsius. So here we are having 30 degrees Celsius as the surrounding temperature. And conductivity of this plate is 15.1 watt per meter degree Celsius. And another important thing is, this plate is having uniform heat generation within the volume, watt per meter cube. Okay. So it means at every portion of the plate is generating heat, and that heat generation rate is 5 into 10 to power 5 watt per meter cube. Okay. And we have heat transfer coefficient, convective heat transfer coefficient. So over here and over here, the H value is given as 60 watt per meter square degree Celsius. Okay, so both sides we have 60 watt. We have to determine that in this plate where we will be having highest temperature, and what will be the where we will be having highest temperature, where we will be having lowest temperature, and we have to determine their values. So can you tell me where we will be having highest temperature over here? Please see the physics of the problem, and based on this, if you can comment on the highest temperature within the plate.
Sir, center of mass of the plate.
Yes. So at the center of the plate, we will be having highest temperature, and lowest will be at the side faces. Okay. Now we have to determine its value. So say at center, what is the temperature? At sides, what is the temperature? And then based on that, we can draw the profile also. So now can you tell me how to approach for the solution of this problem? Let me consider this direction to be x, and say x is varying from here. So this side we have minus x, here plus x. So if it is 0, my limits will be 1.5 centimeter and minus 1.5 centimeter. Okay. Now tell me how to approach for the solution of this problem. So you can see, if here I have highest temperature from here, and so we will be having transfer of heat, something like this. Heat is going out of the body, and it will be, because of the symmetry condition, it will be equally distributed in both the sides. Okay. So can you tell me, if it's a one-dimensional steady state heat transfer problem, how I can approach for the solution of this problem? Can you tell me? Any one of you?
Sir, finding rate of heat transfer by calculating by temperature difference.
But temperature difference we are not knowing. See, this 30 degrees Celsius is the temperature of the surroundings. So how to determine?
So from both sides, if the amount of heat is same, then for one, we can equate energy from one half is equal to the other half.
But how
And
to find out that energy? Because this temperature, say maximum temperature, is also unknown, and these minimum temperatures are also unknown. So from a single equation, I cannot find what to do. So for this problem, have you studied general heat conduction equation? Have you studied this equation?
Yes, sir, but I don't remember much of it. We have studied in also electrodynamics.
Okay. All of you, please go through the lectures. It clearly shows that you are not listening to the lectures. So if we have steady state condition, under steady state condition, d square t divided by dx square plus q dot by k equal to 0. Here q dot is called as nothing but heat generation. Fine. Okay. So this is called as nothing but volumetric heat generation. So heat generation per unit volume. So this is your present situation. Now, if you have to find out the temperature profile, what you have to do? You have to integrate this equation. Okay. So let me integrate. So first I will be writing d square t by dx square equal to minus q dot by k. If I integrate once, after integration, I will be finding dt by dx equal to minus q dot by k into x plus c1. Is it correct?
Yes,
If
sir.
I integrate twice, it will become minus q dot by 2k into x square plus c1x plus c2. Okay. So now I have two constants, c1 and c2. So if I have to determine these two constants, what I have to do? I have to supply two boundary conditions. Is it clear? Mathematically also, if you see, the order of equation is 2. So if order of equation is 2, I have to supply two boundary conditions over here. Okay. Can you tell me what will be the boundary conditions? Some hint I have already given to you.
Sir, minimum and maximum temperature places.
But we don't know their value.
Yes, sir. X equal to 0 and 1.5.
So what will be condition at x equal to 0? If at x equal to 0 temperature is maximum, so maximum thing occurs corresponding to a point where its gradient is equal to 0. Fine.
Yes, sir.
So can I write first boundary condition as at x equal to 0, dt by dx is equal to 0. Can I write it like this?
Yes, sir.
All are okay with this? And second condition, if you see, what will be happening at this interface boundary? Whatever heat is coming through the conduction inside, only that heat will be now convecting outside. Okay? Under the steady state condition, whatever conduction is happening at the boundary, same heat will be convected outside. Okay? Is this point clear?
Yes.
So I can write second condition at x equal to 1.5 centimeter, Q conduction equal to Q convection. Okay, so Q conduction is minus Ka dt by dx, and this we are calculating at x equal to 1.5. And what is Q convection? HA into T at x equal to 1.5 centimeter. That is the temperature of the surface minus T infinity. And T infinity is given in the question how much?
The 30 degrees.
Now dt by dx, do we have? Here we have dt by dx. Okay. And do we have T? So here we have T. So if I substitute first condition, which says dt by dx is 0 at x equal to 0. So if I substitute first condition, I will get C1 equal to 0. Fine. Is this point clear?
Sir, can you please take once the previous page? Yes, sir.
So this is equal to 0, and now C1 is obtained. For C2, you have to just calculate dt by dx at 1.5 centimeter and T at 1.5 centimeter and substitute in this general expression. So from here, you will be getting value of C2. Is it correct? Can you obtain value of C2?
Yes, sir.
Once C1, C2 are known, we have the equation of temperature. Q dot is given, K is given. I can substitute value of X and I can determine temperatures at minimum, maximum, and I can even draw the temperature profile, okay, within the solid. Fine.
Yes, sir. We'll once try to find the values, and
Yes.
if
So
any
now,
doubt, we'll clear in the next session.
okay. So now shall I continue with other numericals, or do I continue these in the next session on next Friday? Remaining 3. Because
So I
these
guess
are more lengthy.
there are only 3 people in the session right now.
So from next time, I will stop recording the session. Those who want to continue, those who want to learn, they should only they should attend the session. Otherwise, do by your own. Okay. So is this fine?
Yes, sir. Can you please, sir, share the questions and also the solutions of the questions, detailed solutions, so that we can match the answers with the if we try it ourselves.
Okay. I will share that. I will
Thank you.
email by tomorrow evening. And now I am stopping this session, and we will do the remaining 3 numericals in our next session. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, for numericals practice also,